Heat check-in coming for the Pittsburgh Penguins as they clash with the hottest team in hockey. Erik Karlsson has been the subject of a lot of criticism this season. Is it warranted? Plus, Blake Lizotte revenge game on tap against the LA Kings. His first time playing his former team in black and gold. Welcome to Penguins Digest. My name is Remington Kuhn. We're going to cover all of that and more on the episode today. But first, please, if you haven't already, hit that sub button. Most of you are not subscribed, if not all of you are not subscribed, so please press that subscribe button and we will keep you informed with all the latest Pittsburgh Penguins news. Let's jump right into this preview for tonight's contest against the Los Angeles Kings, the hottest team in hockey, 8-2 in their last 10 games. If we're going to beat the LA Kings, we have to beat them at their own game. And for those of you that know hockey, you know the LA Kings are known for low-scoring defensive affairs, and that is how they thrive. They win these low-scoring games 3-2, 2-1. That is when they're at their best. So what do the Penguins have to do? Well, the same thing they've had to do all season. Score 4 goals, and you're probably going to win the game. Let's look at the Kings' last 10, and they have won 8 of those last 10. All of those 8 games, they've allowed 2, 1, or 0 goals. The only 2 losses they have in their last 10 games, they've allowed 7 and 3 goals. That 7 was a fluky game against the San Jose Sharks. They had an offensive outburst in that game. No one knew where it came from, how it happened, but it happened. And then the New Jersey Devils putting up 3 goals on the Kings, got them the victory. The Kings don't score a ton of goals, so when you put up 3 or 4 goals, you're probably going to win the game, and that's the Penguins' key to success today, beating them at their own game, putting up 3 or 4 goals, and just sneaking by this scary Kings team that doesn't give you a whole lot on the offensive end. And again, they thrive in these really low-scoring contests. If the Penguins can make this a shootout, they're going to win this game. So expect it to be fireworks in Pittsburgh tonight. PPG Paints Arena will be rocking, and the Penguins are trying to beat one of the better teams in the NHL by scoring 4 goals, hopefully. If they win 1-0 or 2-1, I'm going to eat my own words. But Tristan Jarry obviously playing great lately. He's been one of the best goalies in the NHL since he came back from Wilkes-Barre on that conditioning loan, and I've been very impressed with Jarry's play. The team has played sloppy, a lot of turnovers. Jarry's bailed them out, and he's also been their best penalty killer, and a big reason why their PK has been red hot as of late. So let's break this matchup down a little bit further. We need to cash in on scoring chances. And that is an important aspect of the game. The Penguins have not been able to cash in on scoring chances. They had so many chances to beat the Ottawa Senators last game, and they just didn't cash in. So capitalizing on those opportunities, those high danger, high value, quality scoring chances, you need to score when you're given the opportunity. And a team like the Kings is not going to give you many of those opportunities. So you have to be sure to cash in when you are given those chances. As we look at the matchup breakdown, the Kings are number 1 in the NHL in goals allowed and shots on goal allowed. So you're talking about a team that's not going to let you shoot the puck, and when you do shoot the puck, they're not going to let you score. So the Penguins have to capitalize on every opportunity they are given if they want to beat the Kings. They're not going to get a lot. They're not going to be given a lot of room, unlike the Penguins, who allow a lot of players into the danger zone, I like to call it, the slot area and the blue paint of the defensive end. The Kings don't give that up. Even without Drew Doughty, he's been on LTIR all season, and this defense has been potent for the LA Kings. Obviously, the Penguins struggled against Linus Ullmark despite plenty of quality scoring chances, and the Kings being the best team in the NHL at limiting chances is going to make it very difficult. You lost to Ottawa because you weren't able to cash in on those opportunities. If you can't cash in on those opportunities against LA, there's a 100% chance that you lose the game. Those chances in overtime that Evgeni Malkin and Brian Rust had where they couldn't win the game and then Brady Tkachuk sealed it, that's not going to fly here against the LA Kings. So that is what I want to talk about next is Evgeni Malkin, because he has not been playing up to the standards that we expect from Gino, a huge part of this big 3 that has been formed in Pittsburgh with Crosby, Malkin, and Kris Letang. We need Gino to play better. He needs to step up his game. We're going to show you his stats in his last 10 games. He has not been good. Multiple quality chances against Ottawa, did not capitalize on those. So a big part of cashing in on these scoring opportunities is Gino cashing in and just playing better for Pittsburgh, because he hasn't been good enough. He started off the season red hot, and ever since then, it just hasn't been the same player. Evgeni Malkin, whether it's him starting to show his age or whatever it may be, he just has not been playing up to his standards and up to our standards as Penguins fans. You look at his last 10, he has 5 points in those 10 games and a minus rating in all but 2 of those games, -4 total. Again, multiple scoring chances against Ottawa. He took a lazy penalty in that game, but he looked rejuvenated when he came out of the sin bin. And it's just lazy penalties by Gino. Stick infractions left and right. Every few games, you expect him to take a hook or a slash or a trip, and it just puts the team in a bad spot. Now, the penalty kill has been good, but usually what I see when a guy is taking stick infraction penalties is a guy that's lazy. Usually you take those stick infraction penalties when a player has a step on you and you stop moving your feet. And that's how all of Gino's penalties have occurred this season. He just stops moving his feet. Somebody's faster than him, and he just makes a bad decision in the moment. And you look at his stats, most of those numbers came from the first few games of the season. In the first 10 games, Gino was arguably the Penguins' best player. But since then, he just hasn't been the same. Gino has not been himself, and the Penguins need him if they're going to go toe-to-toe with a team like the LA Kings and win some of these games against really good hockey clubs. They need Gino, and Gino hasn't been there for them. So I'm calling for more out of Evgeni Malkin. He's expected to be one of the superstars on this team, and he hasn't been playing like it. So I just need more from Gino. He has to show up tonight if they're going to beat LA. New defensive pairings without Marcus Pettersson. This is another huge key heading into tonight's game. Pettersson, one of the best defensemen on the team, is going to miss a significant amount of time. He got placed on IR this morning, and I will talk about who got called up in his place. Not somebody that's actually going to play, most likely, so we don't have to really worry about it. What we do have to worry about is what the defensive pairings look like without Pettersson. So these are the full lines as reported yesterday, the 16th of December, so they're not official for tonight's game, but this is what I had to go off of. Ryan Shea moved into the third line of defense to play alongside Ryan Graves, and then Matt Grzelcyk moved from the third pairing to the second pairing to play in Pettersson's spot alongside Erik Karlsson. And we have to talk about Erik Karlsson because he has suffered a lot of criticism from Penguins fans ever since they traded for him, ever since Kyle Dubas brought Karlsson in. But he got a fresh haircut. He looks good. To me, he's been one of the best players on the team as of late. I watch him flying around the ice, doing a little bit of everything, looked fantastic in Ottawa. His skating was pristine, obviously one of the fastest guys out there, so smooth. As usual, played significantly more minutes in that game because of the Pettersson injury and having to run 5 defensemen, and he looked fine. It didn't faze him at all. Same thing I said about Kris Letang in the last video. Karlsson's been fantastic. He made a terrific defensive play that he deserves a ton of credit for, saving a goal earlier in that game. He was flying all over the ice, like I said, picking off passes, doing it all, and then he did a good job getting stick on puck on that game winner by Brady Tkachuk, but it just kind of fluttered off of his stick and snuck by Tristan Jarry through the 5-hole. Not really anybody's fault. Hard for Jarry to track a puck that got tipped, and hard for Erik Karlsson to prevent Brady Tkachuk from scoring that goal because that guy is hard to stop. And Erik Karlsson did his part. I think he gets bashed a little bit too much by our fan base. Obviously, he hasn't lived up to expectations. He won the 3rd Norris Trophy with San Jose. Hasn't been that same player for the Penguins, but he's showing signs of that player. And I think we need to encourage Karlsson instead of try to tear him down. He deserves our support and not our criticism. So I think if we start supporting Karlsson, the fan base starts maybe cheering instead of booing him, we could really turn this guy's season around for the better. And with Karlsson trending up, the Penguins team could trend up. So I think it's a big key component of this core 4. Karlsson needs to play better. He has been playing better, and we're still criticizing him because of moments like that game winner by Brady Tkachuk. Nothing really Karlsson could do on that. Instead of criticizing him, let's just admit that, hey, he's been playing pretty well. It's not all his fault. It's not the goalie's fault either. There's a lot of things wrong with this team, and they're going to make strides to get better as the season goes on. But let's stop bashing Erik Karlsson because it's not entirely Erik Karlsson's fault, even though this team's trajectory down started when Karlsson got brought in. I'm not pinning that on him. So like I said, the Penguins are making a transaction to bring a defenseman up from the AHL to take Pettersson's spot on the roster. I'm not saying he's going to play, but he's on the roster. So they call up Nathan Clerman, called up from Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Not that he's going to play. He's most likely the 7th defenseman, the same role that Ryan Shea has been in before he moved back into the lineup. Now we just have a different guy as that 7th defenseman. More likely than not, he's not actually going to play that much, if at all. He's just there for emergency purposes. So I expect Shea to need to play almost every game for the Penguins with Pettersson out. He's going to have to step up or they're going to call up Jack St. Ivany to take his spot. It's been a battle between those two guys to be the seventh defenseman since the beginning of the season. Shea has the upper hand on St. Ivany, but if Shea can't hack it, St. Ivany will be called up to take his spot. Either way, the Penguins need to have 6 defensemen, and without Pettersson, one of those two guys is going to have to play, and maybe we even see Klerman get an opportunity if that opportunity presents itself. But you just have to roll with the punches sometimes. That's what the Penguins are going to try to do. Without Pettersson, it's a tough road, but St. Ivany, Graves is going to have to step up. Shea can step up. And then obviously Klerman, who just got the call to be at least on the roster, may get an opportunity to prove himself to Mike Sullivan and the rest of the coaching staff. As we move on to the final key to victory today, and that is matching the energy of Blake Lizotte and Cody Glass, two of the most important players for the Penguins over the last 10 games. Since Lizotte came back from the injury, we talked about him last episode, how well this guy has played for the team, arguably the best player in my eyes watching the team. He is a guy that stands out to me. And there's a reason why Blake Lizotte stands out. He is that spark plug, that high energy player the Penguins desperately need. And that is what he has done. He has gone out there, played his heart out, brought the energy. Now it's the team's responsibility to match that energy that him and Cody Glass have played with all season long. And both of them have been out for injury. Now they're both in the lineup, and we see a different team with Lizotte and Glass healthy in the lineup, playing on a daily basis. You see the impact they have on the game. Now it's the team's job to really match that energy. That could be a key to success. But let's hear what Blake Lizotte said about playing against his former team, the LA Kings. He was quoted saying, "It's a mixed bag of emotions." The Kings obviously cut him loose. He said, "Spending that much time there, I loved it. It's a great organization. It was a mixed bag. Sad leaving some good people, good friends in the organization. On the other hand, it was an opportunity to come to a place like Pittsburgh and maybe get some more opportunity and have a different scene." That can do a lot for players sometimes. And I would argue it's done a lot for Lizotte. He's on pace to set a career high in goals. He's already tied it. And he's just been an X-factor player for the Penguins. I love watching this guy. He's been so good. Very underappreciated, very underrated, under the radar, playing on the fourth line. But that line has been the best line on the team. And I talked about that as well last episode. And they're going to need to continue that dominance if the Penguins are going to beat the LA Kings. Cody Glass is another guy you have to talk about. He's that checking line, third line center. He has been so good in that role. Mike Sullivan finally found the spot that Cody Glass belongs in. He's not going to light up the scoreboard. We know that about Cody Glass. We don't need him to. But the way he's been playing, he made some good takeaways last game in the first period. Solid all-around game by this kid. He was a first-round pick for a reason. He has all the tools. Sullivan was quoted saying that he actually has really good offensive instincts as well. So that part of his game is going to continue to develop and maybe start to show itself at some point in this season. But right now, I'm loving the two-way player that he is. Over 50% in the face-off circle. That's enough for Mike Sullivan to put you at center. And he brings this physical brand of hockey that the team is really missing. They need somebody to go out there and set the tone. Lizotte and Glass have done that. And if they continue to do that and the rest of the team follows their lead, that's the key to success. He had the hit of the game versus the Habs. And when I'm saying he absolutely leveled a dude, he absolutely leveled a dude. And that's where I really started to notice, this Cody Glass guy is very physical. Let's follow his lead. And when this team plays physical, they're a better team. They were playing up there in physicality with the Ottawa Senators, one of the most physical teams in the NHL, which was one of my keys to victory and a reason why they were able to get at least 1 point out of that game, because they did deserve to win that game. Again, they couldn't cash in on chances, but I did like what I saw from the team from a physical perspective, and Cody Glass was a huge reason why they were able to stand up to the bullies that were the Ottawa Senators, third in the NHL in hits per game, and the Penguins stood right with them and played that brand of hockey. And that's the brand of hockey I need to see out of them tonight at PPG Paints Arena if they want a chance against the LA Kings. A fun fact for you guys, these teams have the exact same record if you look at the splits at home and on the road. So the Penguins' home record is 8-7-2 this season. The Kings are 8-7-2 on the road this season. It doesn't get much more even than that. The scales are dead even. There is a balance of power with these two teams heading into this contest, and it is going to be a clash tonight. It's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to watch it. I hope you guys enjoy watching it as well. If the team shows up and plays the way we know they can, we're going to have a fun one on our hands. But those were your keys to victory. This has been Penguins Digest. My name is Remington Kuhn. Thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't, please press that sub button and you will not be disappointed. We got daily content on your Pittsburgh Penguins, and we will continue to push that out for you guys. Again, thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you next time on Penguins Digest.